what account could you provide of the day before the Intifada, the first Intifada, broke out when you met with Yitzhak Rabin? What occurred between both of you?
I met a few days before the opening of the Intifada. Rabin flew here to Washington for some visit, and he had to stay here for some 10 days. So I was deputy commander of the armed force, and another General Dan Shomron was the chief of staff, the Ramatkal, and we faced suddenly. At the first day we saw that it's something that we already see, and probably it will be suppressed within probably a few days. But Rabin, military secretary, general, called from Washington, asked us, should Rabin come back? And we looked at each other and asked, why he should come back? We have a telephone, he can be in contact with us. He's not going to be sent to the front line to suppress riots personally. And we know what we can do, we know also what we cannot do, but he cannot help us. So we said he can stay there. But we missed the public aspect of it. And within 24 hours when he heard the news, he didn't listen to his general, but to his spokesman, the one who was in contact with the media, and he landed immediately in Israel and come to try to see immediately what happens. And it was quite frustrating. We could not predict it, and it's not a compliment for us, because it means that after you reign over them for such a long period, it was almost 20 years after slightly more than 20 years after 67. It was always kind of, in retrospect, quite surprising that we held them without any kind of violence or almost no protest for 20 years. But it became clear within a few days that it's just an eruption that somehow had to happen anyhow, if not at this day for this reason, in another day, several months later for another concrete reason.
Do you think there will be a second Intifada, or what happened today?
There was already a second.
But I mean
a third one.
A third Intifada.
I don't know. I hope not, but I don't know.
When you see the events,
today's event in Gaza, it's already after midnight in Israel. It's a new day, but yesterday in Israel, where over 50 Palestinians were killed in an attempt to cross the border. So first of all, I should tell you, I don't like any life lost for a conflict that doesn't seem to have an end. Surely not 52, but we should be realistic, especially those among us who believe in two states, in disengaging ourselves from the Palestinians, set a border. So every one of the supporters of peace should think very carefully about the meaning of a border. You cannot establish a border and then accept that even before you reach peace, the borders are not trusted. Israel pulled out the last soldier and last settler from Gaza. We took away even synagogues and cemeteries. And many Israelis thought that it will bring an end. Well, what reason they have? They probably should start develop Gaza as a new Singapore. It was taken over by Hamas very quickly and turned into kind of machine to operate against Israel. So we have very effective riot control means to deal with an audience like you, more violent, but about that size. From the distance, this distance of few yards, but we don't have means to deal with riot or demonstration suppressing when it is tens of thousands, probably 100 times more people that you are here, and from distances of 500 yards. And that creates a problem, because if you let them come that close to the fence is very fragile. It's not a wall, it's not something dramatic, and they didn't pay for it, even we paid. So they can just cross it, even if the first one doesn't want to move, they are afraid, but the others are pushing them, they cannot see what happens in the front. So we just couldn't afford it, and a lot of energy was invested in trying to educate, control, find some ways to limit, to reduce the number of fatalities. So a friend of mine who watched the Arab world very carefully for many years told me, think of it, probably the third Intifada wouldn't be the one with stones as the first one, or the one with weapons as the second one. It probably will be totally non-violent. I asked him, what do you mean? He said, assume for a moment that instead of sending each weekend 50,000 men to the Al-Aqsa Mosque on the Temple Mount to pray, they will take 50,000 women with children on their hands or their hands, and sit down in groups like this one, 300, 500, in 100 different crossroads in Judea and Samaria. It paralyzes the whole place. Now, he said, it might end up being a win-win, because the cameras from the whole world will be there, and there is no stone, no Molotov cocktail, no knife, nothing, just sitting, paralyzing the movement. If you take them with any grain of violence, first of all, you have to bring women there, thousands of women, just to take them out. You can do it with men. The slightest violence will be very bad portrayed on the screens. If they just sit there and you let them sit, it really paralyzes the whole life. If you take them anyhow, it will appear to be ugly.
But that's not happening. Like today, it was 40,000 that tried to cross the border. What happens on Friday or next week? It's 80,000. It just gets larger and larger. How does Israel deal with that?
Probably, if we had enough time, we would probably have developed certain more effective means to block them. If it happens tomorrow, it will be somewhat the same, and probably with the same amount of casualties and fatalities. I'm not happy with it, but we should understand we have no choice. It's a way that was deliberately chosen in order to embarrass us, and in a very, very kind of deliberate manner. It's the responsibility is on the Hamas leaders, not on our government somehow. And basically, we have nothing against the Gazans. It's all about the regime. The same applies to other places. We have nothing against the Iranians. It's only the Ayatollah's regime. I still remember as a young officer visiting Iran in 71. It's not 400 years ago, just 45 years ago or 48. They were our best friends on earth. Best friends, better than anyone else that you can think of. And under the Ayatollahs, they are major trouble. So the problem is to wait patiently or stand firm, strong until the Ayatollahs disappear, not until the Iranian people will disappear, because they will never disappear.